When it comes to ARK, metal farming can be difficult, so we proudly present Top 10 Best Metal Spawns on ARK. This video is sponsored by Azura. Azura is a 25x server with 6-man tribes. Azura has 7 maps and they rotate weekly. Azura has insta-tame, fast breeding rates, boosted rates for solo and duo tribes, and custom supply drops. Azura has an in-game shop but does not allow any pay to win. Azura offers new player protection, turret filler, and a ton of other great plugins. And come join Azura today, link in description. Coming at number 10, this can be found at 38.2 latitude and 44.4 longitude on the island. Here it is on the map, and this one is a pretty good metal spawn. Now if you know the volcano back whenever it was the old volcano and not the new one, this used to have so much more metal. But unfortunately, after the kind of upgrade to the volcano, it took away a lot of the main metal that was inside, as this used to be one of the best areas for farming metal, but unfortunately it's really not anymore. Surrounding this mountain is still a ton of metal nodes, so you really aren't going to run out of metal. So if you're on the island looking for some metal areas, this is definitely a really good one, and I guarantee you that you will easily probably get a slot cap from this, if not 2. I mean, there's so much metal here. Makes for a great little metal spawn. But let's get on to number 9. Coming at number 9, this can be found on the center at 63.7 latitude and 66.7 longitude. Here it is on the map. This is known as Skull Island. Skull Island has always been a pretty good metal source. It's not a ton of metal, but it's a lot of golden nodes. And with the golden nodes, that really means a lot more metal. Now, this spot is really good for farming as it's kind of central-ish on the center. So if you have an RG and an Anki, it's pretty easy to just fly here from really any point on the map, get some metal, go back to your base. It's just a nice little metal spawn that's central, so if you like that, then this is a great metal spawn for you to use. Coming at number 8, this can be found at 52.9 latitude and 43.1 longitude. This can be found on Crystal Isles. Here it is on the map for you. And this is one of 2 main little metal areas on the map that has a pretty insane amount of metal. I mean, there's a lot of golden nodes here. Makes for a really good spot if you have a tech strider or really anything like that, and you're looking to basically farm on Crystal Isles. I mean, this makes for a pretty good spot. There's even a little cave down here with some metal in it. But it's a nice spot. You really wouldn't expect there to be this much metal here, but there is a pretty fair amount of metal in this spot. Now this can be found at 39.4 latitude and 67.1 longitude. This is a little bonus. It's I kind of just threw it in with the last one, but it's a nice little metal spawn over here with some golden nodes, and I felt it should not have been left out. Coming at number 7, this can be found at 36.3 latitude and 7.5 longitude on Genesis Part 2. Now this can be found on the left side of the map in the corrupted area, and I'm going to be honest, this is one of the probably 100 little ones of these, but this has a good amount of metal in this spot. Now by that what I mean is that the entire map, at least on the left side, is covered in metal. I mean, you can't go more than probably 100 feet without seeing a metal node. I mean, there's tons of metal nodes on this map. Really go to any big mountain peak point like this and you'll find tons of metal nodes. So if you have a tech strider, it's pretty good to come on this map, but there are other maps that I would recommend bringing a tech strider to rather than this map. But if you're just looking for some easy metal, really go to any mountain peak on Genesis Part 2 and you'll find them just about anywhere. Coming at number 6, this can be found at 50.2 latitude and 25.3 longitude. This can be found on Valguero. And here it is on the map for you guys. Now, kind of like with the last one, this is kind of just like everywhere. So there's not a main big source of metal on the map other than these kind of little, again, kind of mountain peaks as you could call them. They're not mountains, they're really just hill peaks. But there's a pretty good amount of them on the map. I was able to find 3 main areas. There was that one, then this one, which is a little bit of a smaller one, but they all have a ton of metal on it for you to farm. Then there is a third one that we're going to be going to over here. And this one is another great one, but that was 3 little spawns that I found. easily within a flyable distance if you're living in the oil cave, as an example. But just this map's covered in metal, just like the last map. You just gotta find the majority of the spots, which are super easy, and there's even a fourth spot I found over here, but there's just metal everywhere on this map. Coming at number 5, this can be found at 65.5 latitude and 24.1 longitude on Lost Island. Now if you look here on the map, it will be on the bottom left hand of the map, and this is really found on that big main island that's pretty tall, and there is a good amount of metal. Again, it's not a great amount of metal, but this was the best spot that I could really find on this map. However, I did notice that there are a lot of golden nodes on here, so if you're looking to get some like rich metal nodes, this is a pretty good spot for you. Now, again, if you're gonna be farming metal, I don't recommend this map. I'm gonna be honest, it's just not the best for metal. Go to other maps, farm metal, but it's still a great little spot on this map. If you're looking to stay on this map, you know, maybe live on it and you don't want to go transfer to some other maps, this is a great spot for you to go farm. Now coming at number 4, this can be found at 83.1 latitude and 21.2 longitude. This can be found on Fjordur. On the bottom left side of the map, on the bigger like kind of island thing in the bottom, you can find this cave. Now this cave, this is one of many other spots that have a lot of metal, but one part that I noticed with this cave is that it has a lot of very rich metal nodes. Now coming into the cave, you have to go over here to the little side where it's kind of like a mine in here. Now with that mine brings a ton of metal, so there's tons of metal for you to farm in here. If you're fine with flying into a cave, you could maybe use an RG Nanki if you're on an unofficial server, or you just walk in with a Nanki and try some other little method. But a lot of these nodes you actually cannot mine in the walls, the ones that are on the ceilings, like the super big ones. But other than that, there's a ton of metal nodes for you guys to farm. Coming at number 3, this can be found at 29.1 latitude and 21.6 longitude on the island. And then here it is for you on the map. Now this is the main snow area of the island. This spot is another amazing spot other than the volcano. There's tons of metal on this spot. Now as you can see, just starting on the walkway to get up to the main top, up to Blue Ob, there's tons of metal. The entire walkway is just loaded with metal nodes for you to farm. Yes, it's going to be colder, so if you're fine with farming in a colder atmosphere, then this is a great spot for you. And a big upside to this is that you have the Ob right there, so if you're looking to farm on here and then go transfer to another map where all your indie forges are, this is an amazing spot for you to farm. You take a tech strider over here, then you'll be getting a ton of metal in like no time at all. And there's even a bunch of metal on the opposite side of the mountain, just kind of on the walls of it too. Coming at number 2, this can be found at 91.6 latitude and 35.9 longitude on the center. Now this is kind of more than just this little spot, it's really the entire Redwoods wall. So as you can see with just this one spot, there are 2 main areas right there of metal which have a lot of rich nodes. There's also a 3rd and 4th area over here which also have a lot of rich nodes. Now it doesn't look like a ton, but you will get a lot of metal just from those 4 areas alone. That's probably about 2 fill-ups right there, easily. Then over here you have more metal, and it basically just spans across the entire wall of the Redwoods. I mean, the majority, like there's another spot right there, and then there's an even bigger spot up here. But there is a lot of metal to be farmed on the center. Just go up to the Redwood walls, and you will find a pretty much unlimited amount of metal for you to farm, and there's a ton of rich metal nodes involved in all these little spawns. Now coming at number 1, this can be found at 53.4 latitude and 36.8 longitude on Aberration. And yep, you guys probably guessed that from the beginning, as Aberration is the best map for farming metal. Now, yes, Aberration can be a pretty tough map to kind of like maneuver around since there's no flyers and there's a lot of dinos on this map and all that. So if you are not new to Aberration, it's gonna be a little bit of a struggle for you at first, but once you learn it, it'll be pretty easy. But anyways, as you can see, the entire blue zone is absolutely covered in these metal nodes. Now, the metal nodes look different on here for people that do not know. The metal nodes are kind of like these stones with these blue lights coming out of them. Now, these things give you a ton of metal. If you have a magma sword, a tech strider, really any big dino for farming metal, you will get a ton of metal. It spans over this entire zone. But anyways, that's it for this video. We hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like if you're new and hit that subscribe button, and go check out Azura servers today.